Audience.
Audience, audience, audience. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stupelman, and I will be giving a presentation today in regards to retro gaming. You have classic consoles that so many people do not know about today. They are used to the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and even PlayStation 2. But these consoles are far before any of those. And I will begin today with the NES, which stood for Nintendo Entertainment System. This was released towards the middle of 1985 for the release date on it. And the Nintendo revolutionized gaming. It was a plastic cartridge, you would plug it in, had 8-bit memory, which at the time, it was tremendous. You had only 8 colors actually from that memory. This was a video memory based off of what the console could handle and could not handle. The games, there were a great variety. By the time the console stopped selling towards the middle of beginning of the 1990s, 1993 when the Super NES was released, it really was very popular still. There were thousands of games for it. Some of the more popular games, you would have Zelda, you'd have Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and just so many streamlined games. Those are some of the pivotal games. They changed gaming history. And many games after mimicked it, took ideas from it and concepts, but it really, those were some of the best. They were the original. The console had a unique feature. You could get, at the time, a little gun, and you could shoot at ducks. It was called Duck Hunter. It was a very fun game, and sometimes packaged with the first Super Mario Brothers as a 2-game on 1 cartridge combination. There were mostly great cartridges, almost all of them were great. There were special cartridges though. One to name is Zelda, the original Zelda. That was a gold cartridge, bright, reflective metallic gold, not just color, it was a reflective gold metallic paint. Then there was a little bit of a different game called Battle Kid Fortress of Peril, and this was a green cartridge, but the cartridge was not a solid like the gray or the Zelda. It was actually a little bit transparent, which was unique, and the game itself was phenomenal. With the NES, you had other things to consider. The cleaning of it. You would really have a large supply of Q-tips on hand if you were an avid gamer of the NES. You would clean the cartridge, and you would also clean the inside of the machine with the Q-tips. What generally was done, people would use either water or specialized liquid, which really wasn't not any different besides having a high price tag. And you would clean the inside of the cartridge, hope that was a problem. If the console stopped working, and you would try it. But if that didn't work, you would go inside the console and try that. But enough about the NES. I'll talk about another gaming system that revolutionized the gaming industry, and this is the Nintendo 64. With the Nintendo 64, the graphics were 64-bit. They were much cleaner, much more color to the details. The games, there were some 3-dimensional games, very smooth. There's Mario Kart, that's one of the most popular games. There was Mario Party, a lot of games to do with Mario, but Mario was great. One famous game was Zelda Ocarina of Time. And as you see here, Mario and Zelda are some of the most popular games for these 2 consoles, but they came out from the same company though. With the games themselves, prices have substantially changed though over the years. Where new games back in the day you might charge or been charged $60 with tax, maybe $65, $66 for the game. Now, for a brand new game, now we can get games for 50 cents, $1, up to $30 for some of the more rare games. But if it's a super rare game, individuals will be willing to pocket out hundreds of dollars, which might be a little bit eccentric to some, but it's their memory that they're paying for, not just the game. One aspect about the Nintendo 64 that makes it so unique is the expansion pack. This turned it from an 8 memory RAM to, 4 megabyte of RAM to 8 megabytes. And this would enhance the gameplay for games like Quake 2, Extreme G2, and Resident Evil 2. But I will forego any more discussion about Nintendo 64 and talk about one of the best consoles released, the PS1. Here is an example of a PS1 game. As you'll notice, it is actually a compact disc. And this disc held more memory, had more color and definition, and all around were just able to do so much more from this into the console that went with the PS1. The PS1 had many games just the same, RPGs, FPSs, but with the PlayStation 1, you had much more memory on the memory cards, you had much more memory on the discs. You could even modify your console to play games from different regions in the world, like Japan or Germany. The game titles themselves range from your basic action adventure games, Wipeout, it's a fairly popular game, even snowmobile games, and snowboarding, and it's really dramatic the amount of games you could purchase for this console. There was the game Final Fantasy VII as an example that would use multiple CDs so you could have an extended storyline with more depth, more character development, even philosophical points in the storyline because there's just so much room to do whatever the creator desired from the console. In retrospect to all of these consoles, these are just some examples of a few consoles you could have purchased in the past, or you can go out of your way and look for. In conclusion, if this is something you desire, you should go to a retro gaming expo and they'll have thousands of games, different consoles, and really look or have what you might be looking for. Thank you for listening. My name is Kevin Stupelman.